Serious, what's the worst part about being the older sibling? You watch your parents become less and less strict with your younger siblings, and you watch them do things you were never allowed to do.
1. You are expected to be the leader and example. As a result, the younger sibling gets away with a lot more. 2. You're the test model. Your parents learn how to parent by beep up with you, so they learn what not to do.
You're the one forced to include your younger siblings in things, which is a social burden. And you have no one older than you to stick up for you and emulate being more mature. In high school I had friends that knew exactly what to expect from applying to colleges, visiting colleges, and some of them even attended college parties with their older sibling. Meanwhile I was applying to college on my own, paying application fees out of pocket, and I had to bring my 11-year-old brother with me anytime I went to the diner, mall, or movies with my friends. They pretty much stopped inviting me at one point.
You end up like a second parent if one isn't around.
The worst is that I'm expected to be great. I'm expected to have my beep together. I'm expected to be the bigger person. I'm expected to support myself. My younger brothers are not. That even when I have needed help, I'm still expected to have my beep together and be perfect, have a job, pay more rent when it's found that I have money left over, etc. But not my brothers. Edit. Wow, this kind of blew up overnight. Thank you to those who have shared your stories, and the awards.
For me, being almost 10 to 19 years older than my siblings, it's when they forget that I'm actually their child/grandchild. My parents were young when they had me, and then they split up, and then met new spouses and had new kids. Oh, let's take a photo of everyone, except just because we forget about him. I just transferred X amount of money to all my grandchildren, except just because he is an adult. It never really bothered me until my girlfriend said something, but now it kind of does. I feel like I'm forgotten a lot of the time. I do well for myself, and have no need for their money, but it's nice to be noticed sometimes.
Watching your younger sibling take your old stuff and practically destroy it because you're too old for that, and they don't know how to take care of things.
I was the target for a majority of the abuse I received at the hands of my mother. My sister had me to protect her. I didn't have anyone.
You are the assistant parent, and anything the younger siblings do gets blamed on you, because you didn't set a good example for them.
Feeling like a failure when your younger sibling is more successful than you. I'd be a lot more okay with where I was at if my sibling didn't own their own home and make more money.
My mother decided I was her best friend, emotional support animal, while my sibling got to have friends and escape.
To be strong in family crises.
You get all the blame pinned on you.
It's always your fault because you are older.
The widespread assumption that a younger sibling can't possibly ever abuse the older or oldest sibling.
Your parents are learning on the job too, so will likely mess up more stuff with you than younger siblings.
Being expected to be perfect, to set an example for your younger siblings. And being compared to your younger sibling, like yeah, it's usually him being compared to me, but then I feel bad because I hate being compared to other people, so I don't see why he wouldn't.
You have to bring your younger sibling to your events.
Parents rarely take your side. Lol.
You're older, you should know better than to say the word stupid to your sibling. Do it again and we're taking your phone. They're just young. They don't know better than to invade your privacy, steal your stuff, tell you nobody wants you alive, physically hurt you and hit us when they don't get their way. We already talked to them and they said they won't do it again.
Being pressed into free babysitting servitude. But personally, probably the worst part is that it was always my plan to get the beep out of Dodge as soon as I could. And I followed through. I got my first job at 16 and got my first apartment at 17. After I left, my siblings got really close with each other, and at this point, it kind of feels like they've always been the only two and I'm some weird cousin they keep in touch with on Facebook. It kind of feels like I don't have siblings at all.
The responsibilities and restrictions. You're more likely to be given chores since you're more mature, and more likely to do them in the parents' eyes. The younger kids normally have less restrictions since the parents are normally tired of raising the eldest child. You normally have to clean up the younger kid's mess, which is even worse when you have friends over. Most of these relate to people with younger siblings who are children or young teens.
Loving your younger siblings immensely and wanting to take care of them and give them a better childhood than you had, but also dealing with the fact that taking care of them means accepting your own parentification and sacrificing part of your own childhood.
Watching your parents grow old while your sibling is still young.
They never beep listen.
You're basically the test subject for both your parents and your siblings. Do you know why did my mom never let my brother just cry without giving a damn? Because when she did that to me, I would just cry for hours and hours without stopping until she just appeared and yelled me to shut up. Do you know why did my brother never responded on a mean way to my mom? Because when I did it, she slapped my face so hard she opened my lip and made me bleed. I just don't know. I feel I'm not the good one. Just a small practice before actually having a real family.
Being responsible for keeping the family intact. It's on you to host holiday gatherings and sort out issues amongst siblings. You're also responsible for your parents' well-being as they age.
Oh no, she broke your PS3. Too bad, go shower.
For me, it was my mom's unprocessed childhood trauma. She was the middle of 3 sisters, then grew up to have 3 daughters of her own. Her older sister bullied and abused her, and she feels that her parents took her sister's side more often and instead punished my mom for screaming. She projected her lifetime of resentment onto my relationship with my middle sister. My sister was actually extremely mean and bullied both me and our youngest sister, and my mom wouldn't punish her for it. I was bullied in school and hated seeing her do that to my baby sister. So I'd step in and punish her myself. And then my mom would accuse me of being the bully. My middle sister would also intentionally bait me into retaliating to get me in trouble. She'd make little quiet comments or do other things to wear away at me until I finally snapped. And you guessed it, I'm the bully again. I accept responsibility for my abusive behavior toward my sister and I feel horrible about it. I accept that we will never be close because I ruined that possibility. But at the same time, my mom played a huge part in this relationship dynamic too. She showed clear favoritism toward my sister because the middle child has it so hard. And she seems to view older sisters as inherently abusive and mean. I had no jealousy or ill will toward my sister until my mom started with this beep. I used to play with her, read to her, teach her things, take care of her, until my mom started giving her all the special treatment and letting her off the hook for everything. By trying to even the score, she achieved the exact opposite.
Being the executor. My mother has numerous medical conditions, any one of which could cause her death, or cause her mental state to become unhinged. Because of this, my mother had her will laid out 11 years ago, at 38 when I was 20. Occasionally she even updates it. Anytime serious surgery is performed, I get a message. All things considered, it's not horrible. However, being acutely aware of the mortality of my mother is not the most pleasant of things.
Having to act perfect all the time because you're supposed to be a role model for your younger siblings. Like sometimes it feels like you have no room to beep up because everyone is watching your every move.
You basically become another parent, free babysitter to your younger siblings, and at the same time you get to see your parents figure out, use better parenting methods for your younger siblings that you never got.
I thought being the oldest had its perks, but recently I've only been able to notice all the responsibility and chores my parents push on me. Even while I am taking online classes for college, it's my fault if stuff isn't done while they're at work. Don't get me wrong, I love my parents, but they can do some ridiculous things.
Everything you discover and take an interest in is immediately taken up by your younger sibling.
Seeing them making the same mistakes you made.
May your day be filled with joy and happiness. And please remember to subscribe to Upvote for the best quality content every day.